I do apologize up front for not printing out my presentation on paper and giving it to everybody, as a handheld hard copy. Okay, I think to start off with, I'm a little bit disappointed that Arthur took one of my jokes away from me about smartphones and Blackberries and all that. So, Arthur, thank you for taking my little moment away from me. But what I'd like to just say to start with, just a show of hands again, when I was sitting at the back there, because I'm busy filming this as well for part of the media that we're doing for First Coast, when Arthur said, "Who's got Blackberries?" And there was a guy that he knows who he is because he saw me sitting behind him. He sheepishly put up his hand and looked to see if anybody was watching like this. Put up his hand some more, then he pulled it down. Just a show of hands. Who's got an iPhone? Who's got iOS 7 running? Okay, so this slide is especially for you. So welcome to Android, guys. It's nice to have you join us in the fold. Standard joke amongst all of them. For me, I am device a bit independent, so I work with both Android and iOS where required. What I'd like to talk about, and I think what for me is a bit of a challenge that Grant said to me, Craig, you've got 5 minutes. Now, mobility on a different scale of what Arthur was talking about is a discussion that we can have for quite some time. And really what I want to do is just show to you what we did in a period of 3 hours for one of our clients, one of First Coast clients, in terms of giving them the ability to capture an expense claim offline, on a mobile device. And the use case was actually quite simple for them. They said, listen, we've got this whole process we've been through now. We're digitizing all of our content. We've got scanners. We've got piles of paper which we've made digital, which we can now search on. We can now, index, and we can look for documents we couldn't see before. However, our expense claim process is still a problem, but we don't have any budget. So we said to them, I'll tell you what, we're not going to do anything fancy for you. We're going to do something very quick and simple to show you how efficient creating a paper-free expense claim process can be. So what I'm going to show you is exactly that. And just a couple of facts before we get into that. I think there's no disputing how technology has changed and smartphones has changed how we live our daily lives. If you look around the audience, everyone's got a smartphone. Everyone is checking mail on their smartphone. Everyone's posting updates to LinkedIn and Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. It's made the connectivity in our community from a worldwide perspective very small today. And I think the one thing that we've probably all seen, if you're working with large corporates, one of the biggest problems I've come across, and I've designed quite a few systems in my time in terms of extending them into the mobility world. And the problem is the red tape that you get into. And a lot of companies are running fantastic software, fantastic products. They've got good processes in place to digitize all of their content as it comes in from paper, but they're not using the capability to its fullest in terms of mobility and having that mobile app do something for you. But when we talk about mobility, we're talking about not only smartphones. So there's a whole discussion around smartphones and what smartphones are doing and the apps and the stats and all that, and I think Arthur's covered a lot of that. What we also forget a lot is a lot of the phones have simple capabilities. USSD, there's SMS, there's the old websites, the old mobile sites, and then device-specific communications. An example of that, where that might come in very handy is, you've got somebody who's out on a job and they get an SMS because they only have a dumb phone and it says, please, when you get to the next address, go and do this job for us. He goes into a device, he dials *55271#, and he says, I'm arrived. And when he's done, he says, I'm done. And it creates the billing automatically in the backend. That's a capability that is so simple, but allows for integration very quickly. So what we've done is, just on this note, Arthur was mentioning earlier about some of the phones for 500 Rand odd. So we had a bit of a pilot we ran up in Joburg some time back, or where we are now, around using the Samsung Pocket when it came out. For under 1,000 Rand, we had security guards walk around with Samsung Pocket with a bit of a cover on it just to make it a little bit more controlled in terms of droppage and so on. And we were able to track exactly where they were going. So where they were going, what time they were spending, what they were doing. At the end of the day, no reports, nothing to fill in, everything was digitized and available for 1,000 Rand a month per security guard. It was probably 1,000 Rand per phone per security guard. Probably cost another 500 Rand per month to repair the phone every now and again. So what does this all mean for a paper-free environment? So I think, if you talk paper-free, you're talking cloud, whether it be private cloud within inside of your enterprise, within inside of your own organization, whether you're talking public cloud. And I think that the whole world of going public in terms of your capability, in terms of public cloud, has made a massive difference. If you look at applications like Paper-Free Web, you upload expense claims, you upload documents, they sit in one place, you can lose your machine, you can smash your machine in a fit of rage if you want, and you can continue working on your tablet, assuming that you're using an Android device, of course. So what our client was doing is they had piles and piles of papers, and they were scanning these papers in and scanning in the old expense claims and so on. Once this backlog was complete, then I said, well, look, bring us your expense claims, we're going to digitize it, put it into our environment, we're going to capture some information about it and leave it at that. So, well, why don't we take it a step further? So we're going to spend a couple of hours just creating a simple page for you that you can capture something with your phone, with your tablet, an expense, fill in some basic information about it, hit submit, and it automatically goes into the cloud and goes into the application. So, what's so unique about this problem? I think you can all agree nothing. We've all got this problem. You're working somewhere, you want to be more efficient. You've got things like bring your own device that comes in. So people want to use their devices. They want to be able to be as efficient as possible with the least amount of inconvenience as possible. So I want to actually show it to you. Okay, so I'm simulating the environment. This is a receipt from last night. In fact, I took a few people out. And if you can imagine, I'm now sitting in a way outside of the company's headquarters, and I need to submit this expense claim. Sit up. Right, so what we said to them was, look, you don't have budget, you don't want to build a mobile app yet, so that's fine. We'll just put something very simple. So a very, very simple HTML page that allows you to capture, but it's accessible on mobile phones, tablets, and so on. So when you look at this was phase one, which was to convince them. Just to say, listen, see how the process works and see how the process makes you more efficient. From this now, we're building a full mobile application. So I'm going to show you their simple expense claim process. Now you'll see it's nothing fancy to look at. I'm just going to log in. There you go. All right, so expense claim, what is it? It's cash and it's entertainment. It happened yesterday, so let's just choose the date. Leave it as entertainment. We did it on Thursday, and it was business discussion. Incidentally, if you look on the top, you'll see we're at online.paperfreeweb.com. That's First Coast's online cloud-based system. And this was a pizza place that I went to. Okay, the value was 492. Now, if anybody's got a phone, you're welcome to go and log on, and you'll see the address as well. So if I take a photograph, there it is. Okay, it's connected, and I'm now going to add the new expense. Now, what has happened in the background is that this is connecting to the cloud. It's uploading to our clients. Well, in our case, it's actually uploading to our cloud server. But it's uploading the documents into the document store in the document archive, where all the other stuff has been digitized over time. What we've cut out now is the fact of creating the slip, adding it to a printout, filling in the forms in Excel, printing it out, stapling it in, taking it to somebody who's sitting in an HR department or accounts payable department, and then adding it manually. All right, so we're logging into the cloud. We just created an account called Expense Claim. In the background, as you see the photograph uploaded, it got uploaded into the environment. That entertainment slip that I uploaded got loaded into the environment, and it created the traditional Excel spreadsheet that the client still wanted. They still wanted that spreadsheet that they could send around in terms of an expense claim. So that's a very, very simple process to show you. I mean, what happens now is workflow kicks off. There it is. That's this one over here. So what happens now in the background is workflow kicks off and says, all right, so Craig, you are from Department X. Yours must be signed off by this date and by this person, and only for amount greater than that. And it moves on. So that's a very quick summary of just showing you, maximizing your investment in your products, in your enterprise, and using mobility to extend on that, whether it be smartphones, tablets, USSD, SMS, and so on. Any questions? Thank you very much.